Hey guys, it's Dr. Adam Nally. Have you had trouble with a ketogenic diet, or you don't even know what a ketogenic diet is, or what's keto? You heard that? This video is here to help you understand how to start a ketogenic diet, how to get started, and if you've already started, how to move through the process in some 8 simple steps. I have an 8-step process. It's not a 12-step program. It's an 8-step process that helps you get moving forward. This is going to be in my Keto 101 section, and hopefully it's going to give you some information that you like. Again, my name is Dr. Adam Nally. I'm a board-certified family physician and an obesity medicine specialist. Been doing ketogenic diets for over 15 years in the 20 years I've been in practice, and I think this is going to help you out a lot. Are you struggling? Have you had trouble? Do you have a lot of questions? Well, let's get started. Number one, starting a ketogenic diet or a ketogenic lifestyle is important to understand that the key in all this whole process is to lower the carbohydrates less than 20 grams per day. If you don't lower the carbohydrates less than 20 grams per day, you cannot get into ketosis, period, end of story. I don't care which kind of cookies they're selling you at the keto place or whatever it may be. If those carb levels are not less than 20, your insulin's going to rise, and if your insulin rises, you're not going to be in ketosis. So step number one is lower the carbs. Now, what does that mean? That means total carbs, other than leafy greens. Now, leafy greens, unless if you're cooking them, blending them, or juicing them, you're actually breaking the double bonds between the glucose, and you're activating sugars to be available for insulin to be released, and that kicks you out of ketosis. So any other carbohydrates other than leafy greens, in my office, we basically tell people to eliminate them or reduce them to less than 20 grams per day. That's important, number one. If it's a leaf and it's green and you're not cooking it, it's free. You can use as much as you want, but beyond that, be careful. Step number two, you've got to moderate the protein. Protein is important to understand that this is a ketogenic lifestyle. It's a lifestyle that is high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate. If you're keeping the carbohydrates under 20 grams, the next step is to take in enough protein to maintain muscle and skin and bone and hair. Those protein calculations are on my website. You can go to docmuscles.com, check out the website there. That'll, if you click on the blog and you type in protein needs or protein calculations, it'll give you those protein calculations. If you've read my book, Doc Muscle, the Keto Cure, the protein calculations are in there as well. To make it real simple, for men, we calculate your protein need above 5 feet. For the first 5 feet, we give you 50 grams of protein, and for every inch thereafter, we give you 2.3 grams of protein. Same for women, we give you 45 grams of protein for the first 5 feet, and then we give you 2.3 grams of protein thereafter. There are some multipliers that you can use if you're sedentary or you're active. I won't take the time to go into those because I've done other videos about them, and they're actually on my blog. So go to docmuscles.com, click on the blog, and click on and in the search bar type in calculate protein needs. That'll at least get you starting a protein that's necessary. Now, this is not a high protein diet. High protein is really only beneficial if you're doing tremendous amounts of working out, and you already have a large amount of lean muscle mass. Those guys need a large amount of protein, and that's a whole different ballgame physiologically. So that's why we don't start with that. It's moderated protein. The next is fat. How much fat? People ask me all the time, what should I do with my macros? I don't want you to use a macro. Macros are worthless. They confuse more people than they help. And so the challenge is, if you're keeping your carbs under 20 grams, and we've met the adequate protein needs, which is step number 2. Step number 3 is your fat and protein should be 1-to-1. For every gram of fat, a gram of protein. Now people will say, well, what does that mean? Well, bacon, eggs, red meat, these are all 1-to-1 or roughly 1 to 1.2 already. So that puts them at about a 60 to 7% fat. So if you're, and a ketogenic diet is a diet that's roughly 60 to 70% fat calorically, but I don't want you to count calories. All I want you to do is using foods that are roughly 1-to-1 the way the good Lord made them. So red meat, pork, bacon, eggs, these are all already 1-to-1 in their nature. If you're using sausage, that's slightly higher, but that's okay. Chicken, fish, and turkey are much lower in fat, so you can add a little cheese, you can cook those in butter. Those are a little lower in fat. What we do is, once we get our carbs less than 20 and we moderate our protein, then we use the fat as the lever. If you're still hungry, we increase the fat. If you're not hungry or you're not losing weight, we back the fat down just a little bit. Any diet that's greater than 30% fat is considered a high-fat diet by most standard terms. This diet gives you the wiggle room to increase that fat all the way up to 70% or decrease it all the way down to 30%. In doing so, you'll find that happy medium. Now, in the first 3 months of starting a ketogenic lifestyle, you can literally have all the fat you want because you're fat adapting, meaning your body is getting used to absorbing fat. It takes about 3 months to upregulate the fat absorbing receptors in the gut and in the cells. And so we give people wiggle room in those first 3 months so they can get away with larger amounts of fat. After about the 3rd month, you may notice your weight plateaus, and if that's you, then you want to understand that we may need to back the fat back a little bit. So that's the important step number 3, pardon me, is keep the fat 1-to-1 to start with. After the 3rd month, we may need to back that fat off just a little bit, but not tremendously, and you'll see success. Step number 4, keep hydrated and taking enough salt. When you burn fat as your primary fuel, it breaks the fat into something called a ketone. Your body uses that and it produces carbon dioxide and water. Well, the carbon dioxide you breathe off, you exhale, but the water you have to get rid of, otherwise you swell up like the Pillsbury Doughboy. And we don't want that to happen. So what we need to have you do is your body's going to put salt into the kidney, and then the water will follow that salt and you'll urinate it out. So you need to replace both water and salt, and that's important to be doing. At least 64 ounces of water per day, and I tell people that I want them taking in at least a teaspoon and a half of real salt or pink salt of some sort that's going to help them. My favorite's real salt. They do a great job with that. It's a nice balanced salt that will replace the sodium, the potassium, and the magnesium and the zinc. It's not just sodium. We need to replace all of the other salts that you're losing as well. So an adequate water, adequate salt. Number 5, you're going to learn to eat when you're hungry. We want you to start listening to your body's hormonal signals. We don't count calories. Your body is not a calorimeter. And I go into this in other topics, but counting calories does you no good, does me no good. It doesn't actually help you. People will argue with me about this all the time, but there is no calorimeter in the body, and counting calories violates the 2nd law of thermodynamics. That's a whole other topic to talk about, but that's important to understand. So all you need to do is understand that you eat when you're hungry. If you feel hungry, eat. If you're not hungry, don't eat. We've been taught that you have to eat 3 times a day or 6 times a day, and that's actually a fallacy. Listen to your body and eat when you're hungry. If you start feeling hunger, have some protein, have some fat. That's essentially what we need to do. That will help you, and over a period of anywhere from 1 to 3 months, people start to learn, oh, I actually am hungry, or I'm bored, or I'm stressed. And so boredom and stress are not times to eat. We need to learn to replace those with other activities, something physical, or some way to suppress those munchies or the gnashing desire to have that a lot of people tell me they have. So make sure that's important. And then we'll do another topic on that as well. Step number 6, sometimes you need additional supplements like vitamins. This is why I developed my Keto Essentials vitamin, but essentially some people are deficient in B6, B12, vitamin D, a number of other vitamins that might be missing from your diet. That's something you want to talk with your doctor about or have checked through your blood work. Step number 7, fix the gut bacteria. I find that some people need to balance out their gut bacteria, and so I recommend using a probiotic, usually a mid-strength probiotic, that for about a month. That's usually all you need, and that usually helps to balance the gut bacteria. If you're using fermented foods, which usually there's some form of fermented food in each culture. In our culture, we often use sauerkraut. There's kimchi. There's various forms of fermented foods. That helps to replace that good gut bacteria. And if you're struggling with that, your physician can check that out with you as well. Step number 8 is balancing the thyroid. A lot of people try to fix the thyroid first, and if they haven't fixed the diet, fixing the thyroid doesn't solve the problem with weight. So number 1, lower the carbs, balance the protein, get the fat in line, and then next is check the thyroid. We have done in the past, and I'll do again, some simplified thyroid hormone testing measures to what you should be looking at. So check out the videos on the website for thyroid videos. That'll give you some information about your thyroid and balancing it out. And then get that balance. And lastly, the sex hormones. This is progesterone, testosterone, estrogens. These are important to balance. We'll do a whole section on these. I've written blog posts about them, so check out my website, docmuscles.com, and type in hormones or sex hormones, and you'll be able to see those. So those are the 8 steps to get yourself kick-started with a ketogenic lifestyle. Number 1, lower the carbs. Number 2, moderate protein. Number 3, protein and fat 1-to-1 per grams, not by calories or macros. Number 4, stay hydrated. Number 5, eat when you're hungry. Number 6, appropriate supplements. Number 7, stabilize the gut bacteria. Number 8, check your thyroid function. And number 9, actually I skipped to 7 and 8 is thyroid, and 8 is sex hormones. Got myself out of order there. Anyway, I hope this helps. Check out the other videos that we've got here. Check out my website, docmuscles.com. If you haven't read my book, order the book, Keto Cure by Dr. Nally. I'm on Amazon, or you can order a signed copy at my website. I hope this helps. Thanks for joining, and please, subscribe if you like these videos. That'll help me know what you're liking. Give me some comments if you'd like to as well, things you'd like to hear. And then lastly, go to my Facebook page. It's Dr. Adam Nally on Facebook, and you can check out a lot of the videos and things like that there as well. Have a great afternoon. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.